Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any interesting stories. In today's video, we would like to present to you a story called My Sister-in-Law, narrated by Jane. Please watch. Henry is a shy, gentle, and hard-working young man. Since childhood, he has always been loved by everyone in his family because of his simple personality and willingness to help those around him. Currently, Henry is a second-year university student, and every summer he returns home to rest after months of hard study. Although Henry still maintains the youthful appearance of a young man growing up, inside he begins to have emotional changes that even he himself finds difficult to explain. Olivia, Henry's brother's wife, is a gentle and charming woman with a tall figure, deep eyes and smooth white skin. Olivia always gives people around her a feeling of closeness, but also full of mystery. She is thoughtful, careful, and always cares about her family, especially Henry, her brother-in-law, whom she has loved for a long time. Her friendliness always makes Henry feel comfortable, but more and more he cannot deny that he is feeling strange emotions towards his sister-in-law. Henry's older brother is a successful man, busy with work, and often away from home. After 2 years of college, Henry is no longer the shy boy he used to be. Although shy in communication, the experiences of love have helped him gradually mature. Like many other boys, Henry had a few short-lived relationships. The relationships came and went quickly, but they left him with a little experience in love. Henry began to know how to attract and build relationships with young girls around him. The most recent relationship that Henry remembers forever is with a younger sister. This young girl is innocent and passionate. She voluntarily gave all her love and body to Henry. The magical moments they experienced together are deeply engraved in his mind. The two often met, and physical intimacy became an indispensable part of their relationship. Every time he was with her, Henry felt more mature, more confident in understanding and feeling feelings and secret desires. Not long after, the girl had to drop out of school because her parents had different career plans, so the two broke up. Returning home from summer vacation, those memories were still clear in Henry's mind. And when he saw Olivia, the woman who had always been his role model, the gentle sister-in-law he respected, his emotions began to change. The image of her, with her seductive figure, deep eyes, and smooth white skin, suddenly became different in Henry's eyes. His mind, which had been dominated by his experiences after love affairs, now began to turn to Olivia, with thoughts that were no longer as pure as before. Henry began to imagine things that he had never dared to think about before. Every time he saw Olivia, the chaotic emotions in his heart arose. He couldn't help but think of the intimate moments he had experienced. Those bold thoughts became clearer and clearer, and Henry gradually realized that the closeness to his sister-in-law was arousing in him desires that were difficult to control. That morning, when he woke up and walked out of the room, the sound of running water from the bathroom clearly made Henry's heart stir. Olivia had gotten up early to take a bath. The thought flashed through his mind. She must have done something tiring last night. That's why she has to take a bath so early this morning. Henry tried to shake his head to get rid of those inappropriate thoughts, but his eyes couldn't leave the tightly closed bathroom door. He stood there, listening to the sound of trickling water and imagining her image under the cool water. Those images became vivid in his mind, making his heart confused. In that moment of hesitation, Henry decided to ask, as if to calm his emotions, "Sister, why are you taking a bath so early?" From inside the bathroom, Olivia's voice rang out, gentle but a little surprised. "Oh, I woke up early to prepare to go to the market. It was hot, so I took a shower to feel comfortable." That simple answer made Henry feel embarrassed with his inappropriate thoughts. Then she continued naturally, "Oh, Henry, I forgot to buy shampoo. Can you go to the end of the alley to buy it for me?" Henry stood there for a moment, his heart beating faster than usual. Olivia's simple request suddenly seemed to wake him back to reality. He stammered, "Yes, I'll go now," and hurriedly turned to walk out, but Henry still couldn't stop thinking about Olivia. The image of her with wet hair, cool water flowing over her smooth white skin haunted his mind, making Henry's every step heavier. On the way to the alley to buy shampoo, Henry couldn't stop imagining the scene in the bathroom. The feelings of confusion and excitement mixed together like a smouldering fire in his heart. When Henry returned with the shampoo bottle in his hand, he walked towards the bathroom door. Olivia opened the door to reveal only a small part of her body, reaching out to take the shampoo bottle. At that moment, Henry's eyes were glued to the crack of the door. He saw her white arms, and the dim light from the bathroom made her body appear vaguely. Henry felt his heart pounding. He couldn't take his eyes off that scene. Olivia smiled at Henry with a gentle gaze, but there was something hidden in her gaze, a provocation. She said, "Please get me another towel." Henry didn't answer. He just nodded and walked into the bathroom. The door was only half closed, and Olivia was still standing there. Her body was immersed in warm water. Henry felt every drop of water running down her skin. Each soft curve appeared more clearly under the light. Olivia took the towel. In just a split second, Henry clearly felt Olivia's hand accidentally lightly touching Henry's hand. Her skin was soft, warm, and the feeling when he touched her made him unable to stop. As for Olivia, that touch made her whole body tremble, and she couldn't take her eyes off Henry. There was something unclear. Was it confusion or secret desire that made Olivia unconsciously move closer to Henry? She breathed lightly before her thoughts could stop her. Henry's lips were on hers, gentle, shy, then turned to curiosity, exploration. Olivia didn't refuse, on the contrary. She responded to every touch, every caress of Henry gently. Their lips touched. At first it was just a short kiss, but soon the desire that had been suppressed for a long time suddenly erupted. The towel slipped from Olivia's hands and fell to the floor as Henry wrapped his arms around his sister-in-law's body. The closeness between their bodies created an intense feeling. Their lips intertwined, the moist steam making their every move soft. Olivia's body was smooth in Henry's arms, and each touch became more passionate. Henry seemed unable to restrain himself any longer. His hand gently ran through Olivia's wet hair and down to her bare shoulder. Feeling the softness and warmth of her skin, Olivia shivered at Henry's strength. She pulled him closer, her bare body pressed tightly against her sister-in-law's. They entangled in a fusion that no longer had boundaries between reason and emotion, only burning desire that could not be stopped. Soft sounds echoed in the narrow space of the bathroom. Their movements became faster, and their breathing became more rapid as all the suppression and conflict in their hearts seemed to have been completely broken. After the passionate lovemaking, the room seemed to fall into a tense silence. Neither Olivia nor Henry dared to look directly into each other's eyes. Mixed emotions filled their minds. Both of their hearts were still beating fast, but now shyness and embarrassment began to take over. They were well aware that what had just happened was a line that should not be crossed, but the intense emotions still lingered in every breath, every touch. Olivia tried to pick up the towel to cover her body, but she could not stop the flow of emotions that were stirring inside her. A feeling of longing arose in her heart that she had never felt so clearly before. She wondered how she had gotten caught up in the whirlpool with Henry, and what confused her the most was the truth. She liked the feeling, liked the way Henry made her feel, that the moments of intimacy had awakened in her, the feeling of being alive again, of experiencing things she had long been absent. Henry stood nearby in silence, his hands clasped together, embarrassment evident on his face. Henry knew what had just happened was wrong, but deep inside him, a lingering desire had not been extinguished. Olivia's every gesture, Every intimate feeling still lingered on his body, unable to be erased. The two of them said nothing, just standing there for several long minutes, their eyes meeting for a moment and then quickly looking away, as if afraid of what they might find in the other. Although the awkwardness and guilt filled the air, the feeling of secret longing could not be hidden. In the following days, Olivia and Henry tried to keep their distance, but that only made them think about each other more. They both avoided eye contact, avoided the moments of meeting in the small house. However, fate seemed to still arrange for them to continue meeting. One afternoon when it was raining heavily, Olivia accidentally met Henry in the kitchen. He was awkwardly looking for a towel to wipe himself after just returning from the rain. Their eyes met, and although neither said anything, they both felt the tension in the air. The pent-up emotions from the previous time seemed to rise stronger, making it even harder for them to contain themselves. Olivia tried to stay calm, but her heart beat faster as he got closer. Henry's eyes seemed unable to hide the burning desire, and Olivia clearly felt his attraction. She wondered how far she had gone, but her emotions had surpassed all reason. After that, Henry and his sister-in-law seemed unable to control the intense emotions that were surging within them. All barriers and separations gradually disappeared, giving way to passionate moments together. They clung to each other whenever they could. Moments of closeness seemed to become indispensable, like an unquenchable thirst. That evening, Hung informed Olivia that he had to go on a long business trip. Olivia's house was dark and quiet. The space seemed to be covered by the hidden tension between them, but also full of desire. But neither of them could hide it anymore. They had done it many times before, but this time the atmosphere between them was more intense than ever. Henry gently approached Olivia as she stood by the window. His eyes followed her every little movement. He slowly wrapped his arms around her waist, pulling her closer, and Olivia immediately felt the warmth from Henry's body. They didn't need words, just their eyes and gentle touches were enough for both of them to understand each other. Henry's lips found Olivia's, gentle but deep, as if to awaken the familiar emotions they had experienced. Henry's fingers gently slid across Olivia's skin. Every curve of her body was explored by him with delicacy and care. Both of their breathing became more rapid, but everything remained gentle and leisurely. They started in the living room, on the soft sofa, where Henry slowly brought Olivia into another world, where there was only them and the romantic feeling. Henry was in no hurry. He slowly cherished Olivia's body. His hands slid over every part of her soft skin. Slow kisses along her neck and shoulders made Olivia shiver in a feeling of comfort and ease. Henry understood her well, knew how to make her feel loved and cherished. Every movement was delicate and meticulous. When the two moved into the bedroom, the space became even more intimate. Henry gently placed Olivia on the bed, his eyes gentle but full of desire. Every movement of his was slow, as if he wanted to prolong every moment together. They changed positions gently, without rushing. Henry carefully adjusted each movement so that Olivia always felt comfortable and satisfied. Every time he went deeper, Olivia felt the strong connection between them. It didn't have to be too intense, just gentle and respectful, but enough to make her feel everything was complete. Finally, when the two were completely united, Olivia lay quietly in Henry's arms, feeling his strong heartbeat. They didn't need to say anything more, just a warm, peaceful feeling. After every moment together, Henry still held Olivia in his arms, his eyes gently looking at her, and in that quiet space, Olivia knew that this was what she had always been waiting for, a gentleness enough to make her feel loved. That time, while the two were cuddling by the living room window, an old man from the next door accidentally saw them. He, a dirty old man, stood silently outside the window, using his phone to record the scene without anyone in the house knowing. A few days later, Olivia received a strange message. Opening it, she turned pale when she saw the video that the old neighbour had recorded of her and Henry together. In the message, he brazenly asked for a large sum of money, otherwise he would send the video to her husband. Olivia was stunned, her heart pounding. Olivia was confused and didn't know what to do. If the old man really sent the video to her husband, everything would be exposed. But if she agreed to his request, would it really end there? The tension and fear kept Olivia from sleeping. Henry was also confused when he learned about the dangerous situation they were facing. And then Olivia decided to meet the old man to discuss the matter of asking for the video. Olivia silently did not tell Henry. She chose to solve the problem herself by going to see the old man at the address he sent. The hot summer afternoon, the sunlight seemed to burn the small path leading to the old man's shabby house. Olivia walked slowly, the bright yellow rays of sunlight shining down, making the sweat on her forehead and the back of her shirt soak. Although the sun was blazing, Olivia's heart was even hotter, because she knew clearly the reason she came here. Olivia stood in front of the old man's house. A shiver spread throughout Olivia's body. She chose a soft, thin dress in the hope that she could make the old man feel sorry, erase everything that was holding her in this terrible situation. The door opened. In the small, shabby house, there was only an old man in his 60s, with a longing gaze looking at Olivia from head to toe. Despite his old age, the mischievousness and desire were still clearly visible in his eyes. Olivia sat across from the old man, her eyes filled with worry and tension. In the stuffy space of the small house, the sound of the ceiling fan whirred steadily like a countdown clock. The old man still sat there, quietly observing Olivia's every move. After a moment of silence, Olivia couldn't wait any longer. Her voice trembled, but she still tried to remain patient. "Speak clearly. I don't have any money." "But I don't want what you're holding to affect my life." The old man sneered. His hand gently tapped the old table, his eyes never leaving Olivia. "You know, money isn't the only thing I need," he said in a hoarse but scheming voice. "You're beautiful. A woman like you doesn't need money. Just agree to one thing with me." Olivia shivered as she understood what the old man meant, cold sweat running down her spine. But she refused to show weakness in front of him. "What are you talking about?" Olivia asked, her voice hoarse with fear and confusion. The old man smirked. His eyes swept around her and continued, "If you don't have money, just sleep with me once, just once. I will erase everything and never bother you again," he said confidently, as if the choice was already made. Olivia sat silently, her hands clasped together in tension. The sound of the ceiling fan continued to hum steadily, like a steady beat in the stifling air. The old man's eyes were still fixed on her, as if waiting for the answer he already knew. Olivia bowed her head, her eyes heavy with the thoughts that were tearing at her heart. She knew clearly that she had been pushed to the limit. All the efforts she had made to protect her honor and family life could collapse if she refused. Olivia's breathing became more rapid, but she still tried to remain calm. After a long silence, she raised her head, her eyes looking straight at the old man, as if to confirm that this was the only choice she had. "I agree," Olivia said softly, her voice shaky but firm. "Just once. You have to keep your word." The old man smirked, his eyes shining with satisfaction. He slowly stood up, walking slowly towards Olivia, his eyes never leaving her face and body. "Rest assured I am a man of my word," he said, his voice hoarse with a hidden malice. "Just once and I will erase everything." Olivia felt her heart pounding. Every step the old man took toward her was like a blow to her mind. There was no way back. She had decided to accept this terrible condition to protect her honor. but even though she tried to keep her face strong, Henry felt herself crumbling inside. Every step the old man took made it clear what she was giving up. The old man touched Olivia's shoulder lightly, his eyes shining. "How wise," he whispered, then took her hand and pulled her toward the back of the garden, where there were thick banana bushes. The old man carefully spread soft banana leaves on the ground to make a soft place to lie down. Olivia stood there, her heart pounding. The old man, with a thin, dark appearance, began to pull Olivia closer and began to act. Her whole body stiffened, hoping that the old man would finish quickly so that she could return to her family. But she was completely wrong. The old man seemed to possess a strange power that she could not foresee. The gentle movements at first quickly became strong, decisive, as if the old man had understood every reaction of her body. Each of his movements was a constant surprise, sweeping her into waves of uncontrollable emotions. Olivia began to feel the initial fear gradually fade away, replaced by a strange, powerful feeling that took over her mind. She was not only surprised by his endurance, but also found herself caught up in every movement, unable to escape. The old man seemed to know every limit of Olivia's body. Each of his movements made her feel like she was floating in a constant storm. The feeling was so strong that she could not control it. And in that moment, Olivia realized that she was no longer passive. Everything seemed to be completely in the old man's hands. Under the harsh sunlight of noon, among the banana bushes rustling in the wind, Olivia was pushed to the limit of her endurance many times. Although the old man seemed weak, his every move seemed to have an invisible force, drawing her into continuous climaxes. Every breath, every beat of her body was led by the old man, unable to escape that whirlwind of passion. Each movement became stronger and more determined, making Olivia amazed by his incredible endurance and skill. The tension in the space seemed to be compressed. Olivia's rapid breathing mixed with each wave of emotions exploding within her, creating a scene full of excitement, thrilling to the point of suffocation. The older the ginger, the spicier it is. And today, Olivia truly understood that truth in an unexpected way. When it was all over, Olivia lay there, her breathing still not quite steady, a feeling of exhaustion taking over her body, sweat soaking the banana leaves beneath her. Meanwhile, the old man stood up, a satisfied smile on his face after completing the illicit exchange. "Done, as promised. I'll delete the video," he said, and walked back to the house, leaving Olivia lying there among the soaked banana leaves. Olivia sat there, breathing heavily, her mind swirling with tangled thoughts that had no way out. Having just gone through the humiliating exchange with the older man, Olivia now had to face herself. She felt like she had fallen into a bottomless abyss, where all the moral values she had held onto had been completely crushed. The image of the old man appeared in her mind, not just as a manipulator, but as someone who had taken advantage of her in a moment of weakness and intimidation. Olivia felt disgusted, not only for him, but for herself. She had made herself a part of this dirty transaction. From start to finish, she had been forced into a position of no choice. But she had chosen to pay with her body in the hope of retaining some freedom. That made Olivia feel extremely conflicted. The shame shook her, but deep down, she knew that she was not just a victim, she had willingly participated in that game. The betrayal of her husband had overwhelmed Olivia with obsession. She felt like every cell in her body was screaming with remorse. The image of Henry appeared in her mind. The man she had loved, always giving her forgiving eyes and warm gestures. He had never doubted her, always believed in his wife's loyalty. But now, Olivia knew that she had hurt Henry in a way that could not be repaired. She had broken everything, not only physically, but also mentally. The thing that had kept their relationship strong for so long. Looking back on what had happened, Olivia felt engulfed in a whirlwind of guilt and despair. The strange feelings for her brother-in-law had made her dizzy, but now, after all, there was only emptiness. Everything seemed like a nightmare from which she could not wake up. Every breath she took seemed heavier. Her heart tightened every time she thought of her husband, of Henry. How could she face them when she had betrayed all their trust, destroyed everything precious in this relationship? Olivia felt trapped in a spiral with no way out. The torment grew as she thought about the future. Could she forget what had just happened? Could she live with this secret without being weighed down by it every day? She didn't know. Olivia only knew one thing. After today, everything had changed forever. She had lost the peace in her heart, and there was no way to get it back. Our story today will stop here. Thank you for taking the time to watch the entire video. Hopefully, the details and emotions in the story have brought you interesting and meaningful moments. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below the video to let me know your opinion. And don't forget to click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any stories in the future. Each of your subscribe buttons and a like will be the motivation to help Jane and the program production team have the motivation to create more attractive videos. And now, see you in the next videos. Wish you a great day.